Hey guys. Okay, so just like last week, there's more than a couple things to talk about. The first being the fights between Shiki versus Shura and Ziggy versus Nero. So let's start off with the latter. First, we learned two major details about Nero's Empire dice. The first is that he got them from Mother, or basically a relic that Mother had created. I'm not sure which, because on one hand, based on Nero's dialogue, I'm assuming the latter, seeing how we have seen evidence of Mother imbuing her essence into objects. So it wouldn't be unheard of if he found them in some ruins of another temple that worshipped her. But when we learn that his dice are unaffected by gravity, that makes me kind of think that Nero has actually seen Mother and actually wished for the dice. Because if Mother actually because in the case where they were a relic, that would mean Mother was perfectly aware of the dangers of the power of Satan gravity and had used them and had created the dice as a deterrent for them. Because it, but in either case, that one little detail really puts into context that Nero has known all along this would be where things would lead. The path that Ziggy is on right now, the path that led him to face with Nero, is the path that Ziggy would ultimately take, and Nero has been preparing this entire time for this day when he would have to face Ziggy. Like, understand, Nero has been waiting for the day when this fight would happen, and yet, despite that, the scary part about everything that Nero has done to prepare for this day is despite all those preparations, despite any sacrifice he's willing to make, like I still do not believe that Nero is going to come out on top. Like I mean, obviously he pretty much has to lose. Obviously we know he has to lose because Ziggy, in more or less a lot of ways, is the main antagonist of Eden Zero at this point. But just like but just looking at this fight in itself, like I don't just looking at this fight in itself, like one thing that's kept in the back of my mind during this fight is we haven't fully seen Ziggy's full power or what he's fully capable of since fully like engulfing himself in the darkness of Satan gravity. And because of that, I don't because we haven't seen that what he's fully capable of. Yeah, I don't think those dice are going to be enough as a deterrent in order to stop Ziggy. Nero is destined to lose on this one. And Mashima, Jesus Christ, dude, when I said that you were mirroring the two fights, I didn't think you'd take it this fucking literally. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be all that surprised that Shura's like Overdrive makes him look like Nero, but just yeah, he took Mashima took the parent-child dynamic to a whole new level with this one, and yeah, guys, I had to really focus on the final couple panels to understand what was going on. But if it wasn't clear to you, basically what happened. This chapter made it even more so clear that Shura is a fucking psychopath, because understand what he did in this chapter. Shura used his Satan gravity in order to pull Shiki's eye out of its socket. Now, whether or not his eye is completely, I don't think so. I think he just kind of tore it out a little bit, but I think his eye is still in his socket. But yeah, like he just with this small speck of that, just with a small portion of power, he was able to do that to Shiki's eye, like pretty much nearly almost rip it out. Like if like Shiki, Shura has Shiki outmatched in every way that Shiki has to step up. Like either he has to tap into some reservoir of hidden power if he's holding back, and just go all out. Release anything and everything you think you've got. Don't hold back. Shura is too powerful to do that. You just need to go ham on him. And he has to, Shiki has to do something. But even more so than that, Shiki has to stop letting Shura provoke him, because Shura takes enjoyment out of pain and out of seeing other people's pain and seeing people and machines suffer. He's taking advantage. Shiki needs to understand that Shura is taking advantage of his kindness, and Shiki himself has to realize none of his peaceful idealism is going to work on Shura. He has to realize Shura is the pure antithesis to everything he believes in. And there's only one way to stop someone like that. So stop hesitating, Shiki, and just go all out. Like, trust me, we won't hold it against you if you actually kill the little son of a bitch. Like, I know it's against your code, your credence, but even if you don't want to kill him, beat him to an inch of his life, but you have to stop Shura. Stop hesitating, Shiki. That's all I have to say about it. I know, I kind of went on a little bit of a rant there, guys, but I really needed to get that out because this is something that Shiki has to fucking realize. There is no reasoning with Shura. He is it's ironic. Shura calls Nero a monster, but he is the bigger monster. That is just a fact of it. Like, holy hell. Now, oddly enough, if I were to talk about any problems I had with this chapter, it's kind of weirdly for the exact same reason that I liked it, which is that, don't get me wrong, I liked how we got an entire chapter dedicated to the two main fights of this arc, but at the same time, I was hoping we'd learn more about what Ziggy was talking about with everything being connected to Mother. Like, I'm actually shocked we didn't get at least a little bit, even more of a little bit of a deep dive into that, but I understand Umashima wanting to keep the mystery going beyond, and that revelation is just another piece of the mystery. But although I will also admit, if it turns out that the Empire dice are in fact just like another relic that Mother had imbued her essence into, it does actually add another piece of the puzzle of me wondering what exactly are the purpose of these. Like, I guess we know that the purpose of the relics are for people to help find her, but like what other like purpose would they ultimately end up serving is what I want to know. If we learned all this about being connected to Mother and whatnot. On the flip side to that, though, one other review we do get is Nero's ether gear, and yeah, I think it's fair to say it wasn't so much a thing where Nero was unable to teach Shura his ether gear, but more so it's that he didn't want to, because as he said, this, like right now, at the current strength of his ability, he is going to destroy himself and probably ultimately destroy his own empire in doing so. That in itself is enough to say that Nero's power can literally destroy anything, or maybe just the fact that it is an enhancement ability means Shura's body can handle the power buildup. But in either case, just from the reveal of Nero's ether gear, I get more the feeling that Nero not passing on his power was a bit more of a calculated decision on his part to prevent his power from being used against him than actually wanting to furnish not, than actually being in a scenario where he couldn't pass it on the power. Like, there's something about that whole scenario that just feels a little suspect to me now. I don't know how else to describe it. Like maybe it is just the fact that he couldn't pass it on, but yeah, I don't know. Something just feels a little bit fishy about that now. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Analyst, Crunchyroll, and be sure to hit the notification bell, subscribe button, and just share the video around, guys. Dark Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, everyone.